Hello guys, my name is Raul Cadalzo, so I will be your instructor for IGAMEC or the Introduction to Game Concepts. So before we start the discussion for your Module 1, let's have a brief orientation regarding this subject. So first, what is IGAMEC? IGAMEC or the Introduction to Game Concept introduces students to the fundamentals of games and specifically video games. Students will learn all the fundamental elements, mechanics, narrative, and gameplay that are employed to games available to the consumers. So basically guys, in this subject, I'll be teaching you how to play or how to understand the mechanics of the game, how to play the game. Okay, so different types of video games will be played in this course. So aside from that, I'll also be introducing to you the different genres and subgenres of the games. Okay, so to further the knowledge in games as preparation for the other subjects related to the gaming course. So for your curriculum in BSIT and ACT, we have further subjects aside from iGameC, okay, under the gaming course. So let's say for example, you'll be having electives like game analysis and design, and for IT students, you'll be having your mobile game development courses. So iGameC will basically uh, introduce you the basics and fundamentals of games that you'll be using for those further courses. So these are the course intended learning outcomes for iGameC. So the first one is recognize the importance of the fundamental concepts and theories of games. Demonstrate mastery of knowledge regarding different types of games and their mechanics and gameplay. Demonstrate mastery in playing different types of games regardless of its genre. Observe proper critical and creative thinking and problem-solving skills towards playing games and developing game mechanics and gameplay. Okay, so all of these intended learning outcomes will only be achieved upon the discussion here in our course, the iGameC, and also upon playing different types of games. So starting module 4 up to module 8, I'll be asking you to play games. Okay? It's either I'll be asking you to download a game for your mobile phone, or I'll be asking you to download games for your personal computer. So there are times that I'll be asking you to play a game that is only available for the mobile phone, and I'll be also asking you to play games that are only available for the PC or laptop platform. So aside from the discussion, guys, you'll also be playing games in here not to just entertain yourself, but also to learn the mechanics, the fundamentals of those games. So here is the breakdown of the topics that we'll be covering for your introduction to game concepts. So for week number 1, we'll be discussing the history of games and the history of video games. So in here, we'll be starting regarding the history of the prehistoric games. Okay, we'll also be studying the history, or we'll be citing different historical games that we had. Okay, so for week number 2, we'll be having your gaming platform. So in this week, I'll be discussing you guys the different platforms for gaming. So we have the PC gaming, console gaming, and we'll also have the mobile gaming. So we'll be discussing those topics for week number 2. For week number 3, we have video game genres. I'll be discussing to you the different types or categories of games that are available or are available to us. Okay, so that would be action games, adventure games, MMORPGs, MOBAs, etc., etc. So for week number 4 and up to week number 8, we'll be focusing into single or multiple genres per week. So let's say for example, for week number 4, the discussion will cover about action games genre. So in this particular week, we'll only be discussing the genre itself. So what are the different games under action games genre? Okay. Um, what are the other subgenres under action games? And we'll also be playing a game per week. I'll be asking you to download a game. Okay, it's either on your mobile phone on your PC. So I'll be providing you the installer. I'll be providing you the link for the installer in order for you to install the game. Then for the assessment, you'll be having quiz every week. Okay, so the contents of the quiz will be coming from the lecture itself and also from the game itself. So for the game, I won't be discussing the whole game. I'll be just discussing the mechanics, the fundamentals of the game. Then I'll be asking you to play the game and to explore the game. So in order for you to answer the assessment every week, you'll have to play the game. Okay, so let's say for example, I'll be asking you to play this game, and in the assessment, there will be questions regarding the game. So let's say for example, how many inventory slots does this particular character have, etc., etc. Okay, or what is the maximum stats that this character can have, those type of questions. So particularly in this subject, it won't be just a memorization game. Okay, so you need to have outcomes. You need to play the game in order for you to answer the questions for the assessment. Okay, let's have week number 5. So for week number 5, we have adventure and action adventure games. For week number 6, we have strategy game genre. For week number 7, we have your role-playing game genre. And for week number 8, we have the more famous types or genres of games. You have your MOBA or your multiplayer online battle arena and your battle royales. And we'll also be discussing esports. So basically, what are the types of games under MOBA? So that could be Dota 2, okay, Mobile Legends. For battle royales, you have your PUBG, have your Fortnite. And also, we'll be discussing the what is esports, okay? So, aside from the coverage of topics, we also have your online course policy. So, the first one, success in this course is dependent on your active participation and engagement through the course. As such, students are required to complete all worksheets by the due date. So, for students under Hub, okay, so you'll be given a hard copy of the assessment, okay, and also a QR code on where to download the game in order for you to answer the modules. For the home students, the lectures and the assessments are going to be posted in our Edmodo group. We'll be providing you the code beforehand for the Edmodo classes. So log on at least 3 times a week on a different days in order to complete weekly assignment, exercises, assessments, discussions, and or other weekly deliverables. Worksheets are directed by the instructor and outlined in the OBTL or modules. So, you can expect that I'll be posting the modules and the assessment every Monday or Tuesday. So, for you guys, I suggest you log in every Tuesday and every Wednesday to check the materials that I'll be posting and the assessment that I'll be posting on your Edmodo group. Next, participate in the weekly threaded discussions. This means that in addition to posting a response to the thread topic presented, students are expected to respond to each other and comment and questions from the instructor and or other students through utilizing the messenger chat group of the class and learning management powered by Edmodo. So let's say, for example, guys, before we start playing those games, I'll be asking you to answer a poll that will let me know if what type of electronic devices you have. So let's say, for example, you have your mobile phones or do you have laptops or computers at home. So this will provide me an idea on what type of games am I going to distribute to you, okay, for the assessment, every genre that we're going to finish. So if you cannot meet the class minimum discussion requirements due to such a circumstance, please contact your instructor. So please contact me as soon as possible through messenger account, email, or cell phone number. I'll be providing the my contact details later. So number will be given directly to the students enrolled into the course. So the course will require the students to play certain games before proceeding to any assessment. Make sure to have the proper devices. Those could be mobile phones, desktop computer, or laptop to play the game. So this course is an introduction to video gaming concepts. So students are expected to be able to play video games to complete this course. And here are my contact details. So you can email me at 12cadalso@yahoo.com. Okay? Or you can also reach me via Facebook. So my Facebook account is in here. So we have www.facebook.com/cadalso.rap. And you can also contact me through this schedules. So you can contact me from Monday to Friday starting from 8 a.m. to 12 noon and from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Okay guys, so for module 1 of your introduction to game concepts or IGAMEC, our topic will be regarding the history of games and video games. So let's start. Objectives. At the end of this lesson, students should be able to first learn the definition of a game, learn the reasons why people play games, learn and familiarize the history and origin of games and video games. So first, what is a game? A game is a physical or mental competition conducted according to rules with the participants in direct opposition to each other. So basically, a game most of the time consists of two or more players. Okay, particularly two players opposing each other. Okay, so they're playing the games according to the rules that are being set by a game. So all of the games that we are playing, so might that be a regular game or might that be a video game, it all comes with rules that we're going to follow. Okay, so aside from the rules, we also have the goals that you want to achieve in playing a game. So a game is a form of art in which participants, we call them players, makes decisions in order to manage resource through tokens in the pursuit of a goal. So what resource or tokens are available within a game? So let's say for example, you're playing a chess. What are your resources or what are your tokens? That will be your pawns, that will be your knights, or that will be your chess pieces. All of the chess pieces that you're using to the game, okay, are your resources and you manage them in order for you to pursue a particular goal. So you want to defeat the other player. Okay, so what you're going to do? You're going to manage your resource and use them correctly in order for you to defeat the other player. So, what are the reasons? Why do people play games? So, first one, games help us tap into positive emotions like curiosity, optimism, creativity. You enjoy it for the sake of enjoying. So, basically, guys, most of the time we're playing to enjoy. Okay, so remember that we're playing to enjoy. Okay, so you're not supposed to stress over playing a game. Remember, we're playing a game, okay, to enjoy ourselves, to entertain ourselves, not to stress ourselves. So playing games bring people together. It is the competition among peers that adds adrenaline. So let's say for example, you're playing multiplayer games, okay? We can have games that are co-op or cooperative, okay? Or you can also play games that team versus team. So let's say for example, playing basketball. Okay, so you have competition among your peers. So for example, you have your team and you have the opponent's team, and you play each other to the rules of the game. So 2 hours of puzzle games per week may slow down the degree of mental decay that comes along with aging. So basically, by playing games, guys, you're exercising your mind. Okay, you're exercising your mind, which delays the mental decay that comes along with aging. So basically, playing games using your mind in playing those games will sharpen, okay, your mind. Some people need a lot of effect to coordinate eye and hand movement. So you can observe this especially in fast-paced games. So games improves hand and eye coordination, particularly guys, video games or particularly action video games. Okay? They improve the hand and eye coordination of the players. So playing is not an escape from some important work. It is about the feeling you get, the joy of an epic win or spontaneous scream when your new high score is 1 point lower than your friends. Okay, so just a reminder guys, as I've said earlier, we're playing games to entertain ourselves, to enjoy ourselves, okay, not to stress ourselves. Next, we have 3 motivation components for games. What are the motivations of players why they play games? So in here, we have 3 examples. The first one is achievement component. The want of the player to advance in the game, the interest in the rules and the system of the game, and the want to compete with others. So let's say, for example, you're playing a game, you want your rank to be higher every time you're playing. Okay, so that's the achievement goal component, achievement component. Or let's say, for example, you want your character to level up. Okay, so that is your achievement component. Every time that your player level ups, or every time that your rank comes up, so that is your achievement component. So some other people play games because of the social component. So what is social component? It is the one to form connection with others, like into chat and help other players, and the one to be part of a group effort. So most of the time, we see this type of players playing cooperative games, okay, wherein you can play with other players, okay, or these are the type of players that usually play MMORPGs or multiplayer online games. Okay? So these are the type of games that those players want. Then we also have the immersion component. The one to create customized characters to play in a unique story of the game, as well as wanting to escape from real life. So immersion component, what are the types of game that you can play under immersion component? Simulation games. Okay, so let's say we have your Microsoft Flight Simulator. Okay, so that could be an example of an immersion game. Or let's say, for example, Need for Speed or any racing game. So that could be an example of your immersion component. We also have the player experience of satisfaction. Okay, so what type of satisfaction does this player or does players have when playing their game? So let's say first, competence. It is a desire to seek out control or feel free mastery over a situation. So people like to feel successful, and we like to feel we're growing and progressing in out knowledge and accomplishment. So let's say, for example, um, you want to compete, okay? You want to win. So that would be it. So a desire to seek out control or feel free mastery over the game. Next is autonomy. So for autonomy, it is the desire to feel independent or have action or have a certain amount of control over our actions. So the drive toward autonomy is why people instinctively dislike being manipulated. It is why imprisonment is a punishment. So this type of players usually play games that have open world, wherein they can do anything they want. Okay, so they also play type of games wherein player kill is possible. Okay, so players that have this kind of need of satisfaction will play type of games that are non-restrictive. So meaning you can do almost anything in the game. Okay, so most of the time it will only have minimal rules and you can explore around the game. Next, we also have relatedness, the desire to feel we matter to others. So the need for relatedness is fulfilled by games played with friends online. So it can also be fulfilled through games interacting with characters who are not real. So sometimes we call them NPCs or non-player characters. That is why a lot of quests are often structured around helping NPC find an item or collect a treasure. So players or players usually that needs satisfaction for relatedness will most likely play multiplayer games, okay, wherein they can collaborate with other players, they can compete with other players, or maybe they can play the type of games that will have playable characters or and also non-playable characters in order for them to have communications. Okay, so that is relatedness. Next, we'll be starting with the history of games. So for the first games, that will be most likely sports. So these are ritualized forms of activities that could be running, wrestling, or archery. So we can have, let's say, competition through running, competition through wrestling, or competition through archery. These are the origins of the games that we're playing. Competition. So gameplay features. So produce a measure of physical skill by competing against other person. So let's say, for example, who's the faster runner, okay, who's the better wrestler, and who's the most player who can have accurate shots using the bow and arrow. So these are the first form of our games. So we also have the organized games. So we have two examples in here. We have our gladiator games. So gladiator games are conducted through celebration of battles at funerals. So let's say, for example, um, someone of a high status in the Roman Empire died. So they usually celebrate the life of that person through conducting gladiator games. Okay? So it was changed when Julius Caesar organized one in honor of his dead daughter. So basically, that's when the gladiator games start. Then we also have your Olympic Games. So it started in 776 BC. So basically in Olympic Games, we have countries competing against each other. So participant status as religious pilgrims. Then we have the some of the origins of the games that we're playing nowadays. So the first one is your dice games. So for the dice games, the inventors of these games will be the legions of Asia, or Lydia is now currently, or is the modern day Turkey. Okay, so the predecessors will be the astragals. So what are astragals? So these are examples of astragals. This could be made up out of bones of or stones. So the legends usually use this as randomizers. So what are the gameplay features of these dice games? So in here we have example of images of different types of dices. So provide a variety of ranges for randomizers. So basically we toss these dices in order for us to have a random number. So let's say these dices will have multiple sides, and each side will correspond to a particular value, wherein when you toss them out, okay, you can possibly, or you will get a random value out of these 9 sides that the dices have. So betting on outcome. We also have our board games. So the origins for the board games are traced to keeping track of players' score in dice games. So it was incorporated from the dice games. Okay, so board games are used to track the, or to trace the progress of the dice games. So all the samples was dated 5000 BC from a burial site southeast of Turkey. So as we mentioned earlier, so the origins of the dice games were from Lydia of Asia, or modernly we call it Turkey. So of course, so board games, as we've mentioned, are used to keep track of the dice game. So meaning, the origin will be same. Okay. So gameplay features series of actions to randomize values to manipulate states. So we have this sample of board game. So you have your Scrabble in here, and you have your Snake and Ladders. So you'll progress onto the game basically based on the values that will be provided to you by the dice. So let's say, for example, in Snake and Ladders, you can only move a number of times that is based on the number that you will get onto the dice. Okay? So the number of moves will depend on the dice rolls that you'll get. Next, we have card games. So background intertwined with dominoes and mahjong tiles. So modern variants probably are Persian origins, so brought to Europe by Arabs. So for the gameplay features, that will be bipartisan. What is the meaning of bipartisan? Meaning the game is composed of at least 2 players. Okay? Random but fixed distribution. So what's the meaning of this? Meaning, so if you're playing card games, there will be a fixed number of cards. Okay? But what type of cards will be random? So mostly cards will be shuffled before being distributed to the players. And it also have a defined game space, meaning the number of cards will be finite, meaning let's say if you're playing a game that has 4 cards and 4 players, you will be given the exact amount to each other. So you'll be given um, same amount of cards. Collectible card games. So combines card games using trading cards. So these are the examples of your collectible card games. You have Magic the Gathering, Pokemon trading card, and you also have your Yu-Gi-Oh trading card. So for the gameplay features, cards have self-contained rules within a rule framework. So physical rarity affects the value of the game token. So time-limited functionality of cards. So I know you're familiar with this type of game. So let's say, for example, each of these cards will have a particular effect. Okay, will have a particular attack damage or defense based on the card. So most of the time, rare cards will have big value onto the game. Okay, so let's say, for example, a special magic card that can, let's say, reborn a monster that you lost. Okay, so those are the different examples of our collectible card games. So we also have your perfect information games. So in this type of games, removal of randomness from board games. So what are the example of these perfect information games? We have chess and go and sungka. So what does perfect information game mean? Meaning this type of games, okay, will not have any randomness. All the pieces of the game are shown on both of the players, like chess, okay? So the other player will see the chess pieces of his or her opponent. No pieces will be hidden. Okay, everything will be seen. All the information about the game will be available for both of the players. Okay? So the gameplay features focus on mental skills. So actions defined by tokens. So basically it's on how are you going to manipulate the tokens that you're using onto the game. So let's say in chess, how are you going to play those chess pieces? How you're going to outwit the other player, okay, into the game. Imperfect information games. So, making part of the game state unknown to players. So, what are the examples of the games under imperfect information? We have poker, battleship, and stratego. Okay, so what's the difference between perfect information game and imperfect information game? In imperfect information game, okay, not all information are available to all of the players. So let's say, for example, poker. Okay, the opponent will not know what type of cards you're holding, but will know how many cards are you holding. So it basically the game won't be providing you all the information. Okay, so gameplay features, hidden game states. So in this type of games, you'll need to guess what are the tokens or what are the resources that your opponent have, and you'll play the game based on that minimal information. Skills game. So board games where movement is determined by successful action or performance. So what are the type of games under skills games? We have Scrabble, chess, and poker. So let's say, for example, Scrabble. So what is the skills that is needed in order for you to play Scrabble successfully? First, you should have a wide vocabulary, meaning you have knowledge of different type of words and their spellings in order for you to play Scrabble. Okay, so gameplay features introduce introduction of variety of skills. Okay, next you also have your tabletop or miniature games. So similar to board games, but use graphically depicted miniatures. So let's say, for example, we have your Warhammer and your Warhammer 40,000. So instead of using chess pieces, in this type of games, you're using miniatures, okay? Detailed miniatures of the playable characters. So let's try to show a video in here. So this is an example of your Warhammer 40k. So as you can see, you have your dices, you have your miniatures. So these are the resources that you're using. Okay, aside or instead of using chess pieces or wooden pieces, these are um, detailed miniatures of playing the game. So let's say, for example, you have tanks, you have soldiers. Oh, okay, so in here we have soldiers, you have monsters. Okay, so this is the example of a tabletop game. So gameplay features. player-owned game tokens they use. So requires players to do extra activities. So that will be, let's say, tossing the dice. Okay. Next, we have novelty games. So machines that provide gameplay or lets players test skills. So gameplay features coin up or coin operated machine control game flow. So these are some of the examples. So usually you'll be seeing this type of games in arcades. Okay, let's say shooting games in arcades. Okay, etc. etc. Now let's proceed with video games. So what is a video game? So a video game is an electronic game that involves interaction with the user interface to generate visual feedback on a two or three-dimensional video display such as a touchscreen, virtual reality, headset, or TV or monitor. So in here, these are some of the first games that were developed for the consumers. So we have OXO or Knots and Crosses. So basically, this is the first video game that is available for the consumer. So it was developed by Alexander S. Douglas in 1952. It simulates tic-tac-toe or Knots and Crosses, uh, O's and X game. So developed as part of thesis on human-computer interaction, played by dialing numbers, okay? And the computer is your opponent. So I have a short clip in here of an example of a video or screenshot of the game. So this is the user interface that you'll be seeing for the Knots and Crosses. Okay? So in here, you have your screen. So you're playing against the character. So the objective of the game is to complete a straight line. It's either horizontal, vertical, diagonal of the symbols that is being used. So let's say, for example, let's say the computer uses O, and you as the player will be using X. So whoever completes a straight line of these symbols will basically win. Okay. So this is the first commercial game that was available for video game available for the consumer. Next, we also have your Tennis for Two that was developed in 1958. So it is a sports video game which simulates tennis. So developed by William Higginbottom, played using Donner Model 30 analog computer. So it's a real-time game. So as you can see, guys, this component in here is what we call the Donner Model 30 analog computer. So these are the earliest versions of computers. So the controller that is being used will be this one, okay? And this is the display. So I have short video of that game. So basically, this is the computer that is used to play this game. Okay, so this is the computer. You have your display in here, so you have your controllers. Okay, now so let's check the game. So this is the display. Okay, so as you can see, the game is only composed of an horizontal line, a vertical line that serves as the net. Okay, the horizontal line is the floor. Then the moving circular object will be the ball that simulates tennis. So it is the first real-time game using two controllers. Next, we have your brown box that was invented in 1967. It was developed by Ralph Baer. First prototype of the first multiplayer multi-program video game system. So originally called TV Game Unit number 7. So could be programmed to play variety of games by flipping the switch along the front unit. So basically, guys, this is the first video console ever, a programmable video console. So this is the predecessor of your PlayStation, of your Nintendo, or your um, Xbox. Next, we have Computer Space 1970. So world's first mass-produced and commercially sold video game. So a brainchild of Nolan Bushnell, produced by Notting Associates, a computer-controlled rocket ship against two machine-controlled flying saucers in a space simulation set. So I have a video clip of this game. So this is what you'll be seeing in the computer space. So basically, this is your spaceship. Then you need to destroy other spaceships or you need to destroy asteroids within the game. So as you can see, the ships will be producing projectiles. What you need to do is to dodge the enemy bullets and you need to destroy the enemy planes by shooting your own projectile. Okay, so these are the some of the examples of the first games that was invented. Then we have Atari. So what is Atari? So Atari is basically a game development company. So I think some of you are familiar with this. Created by Nolan Bushnell and Ted Dabney, pioneer in arcade games, home video game consoles, and home computers. This company is famous for the game Pong, Asteroids, and Missile Command. Okay? Next, we have Namco. So Namco is a former Japanese developer and publisher of arcade games and home video game consoles. So it was founded by Masaya Nakamura in 1955, started releasing video games in 1978. So Namco is famous for the games Galaxian, Pac-Man, and Tekken. So as you can see guys, this is a screenshot of the original Pac-Man. Okay, then we have this one. This I believe this is the earliest version of Tekken. Okay. Then let's have some platform or some genres of games. Okay, genres. Some example of genre of video games. So the first one we have is platform games. So what is a platform game? So a video game genre and subgenre of action game where the player controls a character that must jump and climb between suspended platforms while avoiding obstacles. A perfect example of this game or a perfect example of a platform game will be Super Mario Brothers, okay? Wherein you have multiple platforms that you need to climb or you need to jump. So some of the examples of your platform games will be Sonic the Hedgehog, and we also have Donkey Kong. Okay, so these are some of the examples of your platform games. Now, let's proceed with consoles. So these are some of the earliest versions of the consoles uh, that was available for the public. So the first one is the Fairchild Channel F. It was the first programmable ROM cartridge based video game console. So that will be this image. Okay. So these are your controllers. We also have your Atari 5200. It was a video game console that was introduced in 1982 as a higher end console. That will be this one. Okay. Um, we also have Nintendo Family Computer, an 8-bit third generation home video game console produced, released, and marketed by Nintendo. Some of you are familiar with this Nintendo Family Computer. Okay. Now, we also have the modern day consoles. So, let's say for example, in here, we have the latest versions of Xbox and the PlayStation. So, for Xbox, we have Series X. It has significantly faster loading times. So, it features Dolby Vision and Atmos support. Okay? So, for the Xbox Series X, it supports 4K 60 FPS gameplay up to 4K 120 Hz support. This support now will depend on the TV or monitor that you're using. So previously, the consoles only maxed out at 60 or 30 FPS. Okay, but modern day consoles can play up to 120 Hz or 120 FPS depending on the TV or monitor that you're using. Then, for the PlayStation, we have the latest version that is PlayStation 5. So, it supports 4K 120 FPS gameplay up to 8K 60 FPS support. So, revolutionary control haptics, okay, and significantly faster loading times. Why? Because instead of having a slow hard disk drive, this PS5 will have SSDs. Next, let's have a brief history of home computers. So, first one is Commodore PET, a home personal computer developed in 1977 that combined MOS microprocessor, Commodore Basic,
keyboard, monitor, and a cassette deck. This is basically your Commodore PET. Okay, so this is the predecessor of the personal computer that we know nowadays. We also have Amiga 2000, a personal computer released by Commodore as a big box expandable variant of the Amiga 1000. So in this computer, the mouse was and keyboard, or a separate mouse and keyboard, was already introduced as compared to Commodore PET, where all the components belongs to a single unit. We also have ZX81. So it is a home computer that was produced by Sinclair Research. It was designed to be small, simple, inexpensive home computer. Then we have your modern day computers. So we have your iMac Pro. So for the specs, so your CPU is 18 core Intel Xeon. For the graphics, you have Radeon Pro Vega 64. Your RAM will be 256 GB DDR4, and for the storage, you'll have 4 terabytes of PCIe 3.0 SSD. Okay, so for the other side, for the Windows, we have your Alienware Aurora. So for the specs, we have AMD. So for the CPU, it's AMD Ryzen 9 5950X. I believe this is the latest generation of Ryzen 9. So for the graphics, it has NVIDIA GeForce 3080. Okay? GeForce 3080 or the GeForce 3000 series is the latest version of your NVIDIA RTX cards. For the RAM, it has 128 GB of 3200 megahertz DDR4, and for the storage, it has 2 terabytes SSD plus 2 terabytes of hard disk drive. Then let's have modern video games. So most of you will be familiar with these games. So first one, we have Dota 2. So Valve's MOBA is one of the deepest, most mechanically complex game ever. So it's 100 plus hero, all play differently. So Dota 2 is at its best when you're playing with a team of 5 friends. Gather gold, killing enemies, taking objectives as a coordinated team. So basically, MOBA is a type of genre where it involves 10 players. That will be a 5 versus 5 teams competing against each other to destroy the enemy base or to destroy the Nexus. Okay, so we'll be having an in-depth discussion of what type MOBA the module 8. Okay, so let's continue. Now we also have your Fortnite. So Fortnite launches as a forgettable co-op zombie shooter in 2017. So developer Epic Games saw the success of PUBG, or um, Player Unknown's Battleground, and decided to create its own battle royale mode. So inviting 100 players to land on an island, then fight out until one survived. Fortnite became a global phenomenon, attracting more than 250 million players. So what is a battle royale mode, or what is battle royale genre? So this is a type of game wherein all the players, let's say 100 players, will be gathered into a single map and will be asked to kill each other. So the remaining player out of those 100 will become the winner. Okay, so that is the battle royale. So in order for you to win in a battle royale game, you need, or you must be the last man standing. Okay, chicken dinner. Next, we have Among Us. It's a computer game developed by the company Innerslot and released in 2018. Describes as an online multiplayer social deduction game wherein up to 10 players around inside a virtual spaceship completing classic spaceship maintenance tasks while trying to figure out the imposter, or before they kill everyone. So basically, in this type of game, okay, you have multiple players. You have to guess who's the imposter or who's the one that's killing the other players. Okay? So basically, guys, let's say you have 10 players, you're playing against that one player. You have to know who's the imposter. Next, we have Cyberpunk 2070, or we have Cyberpunk 2077. So this game was released early last year, I believe. So Cyberpunk 2077 is an open world action adventure story set in Night City, a megalopolis obsessed with power, glamour, and body modification. Play as V, a mercenary outlaw going after one-of-a-kind implant that is the key to immortality. So you can customize your character, cyberware, skill set, and playstyle, and explore a vast city where the choices you can make shape the story of the world around you. So what is an open world? Okay, type of game. When we say open world game, it is a type of game where you're allowed to roam in an open world. Okay, you're not limited to a single map, to a single location. So basically, it's a type of game where it simulates a real world, an open world where you can explore anything or all the contents of that map of that world. Okay, so that is it. That will be the end of our module 1, guys. So if you have questions for module 1, kindly comment them down in the Edmodo post where you'll be seeing this game. Okay? Please comment them down if you have question. Do not comment on the YouTube video. Okay? Place your questions or your comments in the post in our Edmodo class. Okay? If you have questions, write them down there. Then I'll be answering them as soon as I see them. Okay, guys? So that's it for module 1. So after viewing this video, you must proceed to the assessment. Okay? Good luck to your assessment, guys. Thank you.